And welcome to Monster Piece Theater. Hello! Welcome to my new aesthetically pleasing life with a bookcase. I have my bookcases now, which some of you said were giving off a Alistair Cookie vibe, so I leaned into that. I am filming this on my iPad right now. Somehow it's more noticeable if I don't look at the camera, so I'm staring at a tiny little dot on the side. Just feels weird, but I'm doing it. My computer is over a few feet away and just doing a lot of file stuff. This is a very computer-centric weekend. I had Friday off, summer hours at work, so I went through and cleaned up a lot of emails and browser tabs and just digital clutter. And then Saturday I went to the Apple store. I was there for several hours, mostly because I bought a hard drive and was trying to back up my machine while I waited for an appointment for them to help me out with my file. You don't want to hear about this. But mostly just things need to be backed up so I can do a system upgrade. And I have a lot of files and I have a slow connection, so it's just a matter of patience, a matter of moving files patiently from one box to another. I did try to start on the sloper today, but I realized that I had traced the stitching lines on the pattern and I wanted to cut out a proper seam allowance. This is the whole thing with sewing patterns. The ones you buy in the store have a 5/8 inch seam allowance. Fancier things, just mark the stitching line, cut whatever amount of seam allowance, and make sure they stitch on the line, which I kind of like. And I could do that now. I could just cut a random amount of seam allowance. Or I have two options. I could take a ruler and burt around the line and mark off either 5/8 or 1/2 inch, and then line that up on the line on the machine. Or I had seen this very clever device mentioned online, which is a little magnet that you can put on your scissors, and essentially the magnet is the 5/8 inch, and you line it up with your pattern, you cut, and then your cutting lines ends up in the right place. But I can't find any place to actually buy this online without paying international shipping, which seems weird. Rather than spend my whole day trying to buy a thing that, again, I'm trying not to buy things. I think what I'm gonna do is just pin the lines together, sew on the line, and ignore seam allowance. I'm so at the beginning of the journey that I don't think I even need to decide this right now. So yes, so I will go back to my pattern, just cut it out roughly, and mark the lines and sew the lines, and then I'll be good. This is just for fit, so I don't really need to be bothered by the fact that I still don't have an ironing situation. I need to go and get a sheet of plywood and have it cut down, and then I can stretch it over 2 rolling carts that I have and cover it with some fabric, and then I'll have an ironing board, versus buying an ironing board, but I don't want to have to store an ironing board. Whereas this plywood, I should be able to find a place for it on the wall and then just take it out when I need it. So that's my plan there. Granted, that's also buying a thing, which I'm all about not buying things. So a piece of plywood costs $34 at Home Depot. I don't know what I thought it should have costed. A nickel. I assume everything should just cost a nickel. Other than that, things are good. A lot of work kind of expanding to fill as much space as I allow it. Work's been good. Living my life's been good. I feel like I don't do enough stuff, so I might try to find things that are going on, like bar trivia and stuff, and try and get out to something. I was very on the fence about doing that because just going to a thing by myself feels creepy. I have been given the advice that I should not let that stop me. And I guess when it comes down to it, who cares? You know, if I look like a weirdo, that gives other people something to talk about. If they're even paying attention, which they're not. I'll look, see what's going on, and if I do something fun, I'll tell you about it. Things are calm in my personal life. Kind of fell off the wagon eating-wise, so I'm back on that. Been exercising every day. I've been doing a little gratitude journal every day. Been doing Wordle every day, Duolingo every day. So I have a lot of good habits built up. I've been eating pretty healthfully. I've been eating pretty well. Not been going out much. Although I went out a few times in this month. I went out and met my friends for brunch, and then I went out because my friend Grace was doing a knitting meetup, and then I went out after Rachel and Lisa brought over the bookcase. Wow, that was a challenge, the bookcase, even though Rachel did most of the work. But now I have this lovely bookcase, which is very, very cool. Yeah, so I've been doing more of that. So yeah, if I make progress on the sloper, which I'm going to do after I put this camera down, it's iPad, I'm on the iPad now, which is going to be so shaky because it's just, I'm sitting in my chair kind of cross-legged with the iPad resting on my knee. So every time I move, the camera shakes, and that can't be fun to watch. So I'll have to run that through a filter. Where was I? Yeah, so I've been doing a lot. Things are good. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of computer-y stuff lately, which doesn't make compelling content. Part of it, though, is setting up priorities of both what to work on. Like right now I'm working on the sloper because of these videos. I keep wanting to work on other things, but feel like I've committed to the sloper, and so I should stick with that to the extent I can, which makes these videos a good thing because they keep me on track. Yeah, so priorities about how to spend my time, priorities about how to spend my money. Every time I think of a thing I need, I go, oh, that's no big deal. I'll just get that. I think I talked about this last week. There's just a bunch of things that cost like $5 or $10, but there's so many of them that I can't do them all. I have to decide which to do in what order, because I am trying to pay down some debt. I put in a borrower defense something. I can't remember what it's called. I essentially put in a thing saying, please cancel my student loans because the school I went to was nonsense. A lot of people getting their loans canceled. Those people were in a class action suit that I was not in, and I think it was against a different school that was nonsense, but it's worth a shot. It would be so great if that happened, because it's a lot. I haven't had to pay it since early in the pandemic. They suspended payments, which has been great, but I still know it's there. Even if that went away, though, I still have enough debt to make me want to make it go away, which is why I don't like spending any money that I don't absolutely have to. That's been a tricky one to balance. Because like sometimes you just want to live like a normal person, and then sometimes you want to be the person who's just eating chicken drumsticks because they cost $1.69 a pound. I also want to make better videos. I want to learn to use the tools a little better. It's also because I'm not looking at the screen, I'm looking at the camera. I don't notice that I keep drifting off into not being on camera. This might all be unusable. That's entirely possible. We'll find out. Talk to you later. Bye.